Normally, I wouldn't do this because there's already at least two, but this has been requested, for one. And two, I do want to make sure that this one stays. And three, it's a new year. I'm feeling really good about myself after everything that has happened. Let's do this. Here's yet another reading of Trixie's Getting Back on Your Hooves by Shadow Raikou and Godzilla. Let's begin. Chapter 1, Unexpected Encounter. Well, it's nice to be back at Canterlot. So much has changed, Twilight said as she continued walking, excitement in her voice. Sure, she had been here a few times since she moved to Ponyville, but this was really the first time she had been there just to relax and reconnect with her roots, as opposed to a party or being called to save the world from an ancient evil that escaped its prison. She remembered Rarity's friendship report after Twilight's birthday. Don't be ashamed of your roots. That's what compelled her to come to do a little reconnecting with where she came from. Isn't that right, Spike? Spike? She asked, looking back at her assistant to see him falling quite far behind. Spike panted, struggling to keep up. Yeah, Twilight, he panted, stopping to catch his breath. Can I please ride on your back? He asked, unable to keep up with the excited unicorn mare. I know you're excited, but I can only move so fast. Twilight stopped and turned around to fully face him, getting a slightly embarrassed look. Realizing in her excitement, she forgot Spike was just a baby dragon. Sorry, Spike, I just had a great day, Twilight said, Horn lighting up with a pink glow, was surrounded Spike and flowing up gently, setting him on her back as she continued on. What's next on the checklist? Spike took a moment to catch his breath. Thanks, Twi, he said, checking on the checklist. He couldn't help rolling his eyes. Who made a checklist to plan out relaxing besides Twilight? Me. Let's see. Make checklists for a day in Canterlot. Double and triple check the checklist. Spend the early morning with Princess Luna, he read. Then gave Twilight a glare. At 3 a.m, he muttered, not liking getting up that early. I know Luna's nocturnal and all, but was getting up that early really necessary? He asked, giving a yawn from lack of sleep. Yes, Spike. I don't think Princess Luna would have liked if we disturbed her in the morning while she's getting ready for bed, Twilight said, wandering around the road. A person nearly bumped into her, but changed its direction in a hurry. Twilight looked back. He was long gone. Canterlot was so different than Ponyville. In Ponyville, that probably would have resulted in a friendly conversation. Here, every pony was in such a big rush, he didn't have time to say hi. What's next? Let's see, said Spike, looking back at the list. We ate breakfast with your parents. Then we dropped out those deliveries for Rarity. He swooned, saying Rarity's name in a dreamy fashion. He caught himself as Twilight looked back at him with a raised eyebrow. Oh, sorry. Then we gave those apology letters to the animals at Canterlot Castle Garden for Fluttershy. Got those tickets to the Wonderbolt show for a rainbow. Stopped by Discord statues so you could double and triple check the spell keeping in there. Twilight looked down. It's just... I had to be sure he was still there. Locked up tight. I know, Twilight, said Spike, giving a kind smile. I was there when you turned Ponyville into a madhouse and made the others bully you. I can't blame you for having nightmares. Twilight shuddered. Spike wasn't kidding. Discord's games had given her nightmares. Bad ones. She had hoped to take a look at his stunning mug and make sure he wasn't getting out to give her a little peace of mind. She hoped that make the nightmares go away a bit. Is that why you decided to sneak past the guards and write Discord drills on his face in permanent marker? She asked, giving him a look over her shoulder. Ooh. Oh, that wasn't Coaster Spike. I'll remember this. Spike gave a laugh. Yeah, he replied, looking over to her. I have to admit, it was really funny. Twilight chuckled. Yeah, I guess it was. Until you got caught and were arrested by the guards. Spike gave his nervous smile. Yeah, sorry about that. But at least the princess got a good laugh out of it when she came to bail us out. Twilight nodded sheepishly, getting an embarrassed blush. Yeah, I guess she did. She replied, remembering how needlessly worked up she had gotten, waiting for Celestia to get there. She wasn't sure why, considering she should have known Celestia wouldn't imprison her, banish her, or imprison her in the place she banished her to. She just wished she realized that before she made a fool of herself, begging Celestia not to when she showed up to pardon him. Other than that, we had lunch with Princess Celestia and talked with her for an hour, said Spike, writing about a half dozen more items before looking back. And lastly, asked Spike to recheck the checklist to make sure we got everything. He read and blinked in confusion. Check? He said, checking that item off. Great! It's still an hour until we plan to head back to Ponyville. What should we do in the meantime? Twilight asked, dodging the oncoming traffic of ponies. Why were Canterlot ponies always in such a rush? Well, could I throw a stink bomb onto Prince Blueblood's room to pay him back for how he treated Rarity at the gala? Asked Spike, producing one out of nowhere. Rainbow Dash gave it to me. No, Spike! We get arrested! Again! Said Twilight, passing Celestia's face as that happened. Even as she did laugh it off again, Twilight didn't particularly want to have her mentor bail her out twice in one day. I think we should just go home, Twilight unwillingly said, though she was getting a tad homesick for Ponyville. A stink bomb in hand, she didn't particularly trust the little dragon not to use it. But when did he get it, she wondered. He didn't have it when they left Ponyville, and that was the last time she'd seen Rainbow Dash since then. She got the feeling that maybe one of their friends was around. Certainly a certain rainbow-haired Pegasus with a love for pranks. Spike grumbled, putting it away. Fine, but you have to admit, he deserves it. Yeah, but it's illegal, Spike, Twilight said, looking around to see if Rainbow Dash really was around. Did Twilight sell something else? A homeless mare on the side of her street. The poor thing laid under a blanket, only her light blue tail and unicorn horn exposed. Her fur was mangy and filthy enough to show she hadn't bathed in a long time. Twilight frowned. She often forgot that, despite the princess's best efforts, there were still ponies suffering in Equestria. Not many, but some. She couldn't help thinking something seemed so familiar about this mare. Why did she feel she had seen that tail and horn somewhere before? Spike saw the mare as well, quickly got some bits. Here you go, Twilight, he said, holding him out. He knew 9 times out of 10, if Twilight could help some pony, she would. Any of the gang would, probably, when he thought about it. The mare seemed vaguely familiar to him as well, but couldn't quite put his claw on it. Thanks, Spike, Twilight said with a small smile, and took the bits with a telekinesis spell. She walked to the mare and laid him gently down next to her, only for a blue glow to surround him, and the bits be telekinetically thrown back at her face. Ow! Hey, what was that for? Yeah, we were just trying to help, said Spike, a little miffed. The mare groaned an announcement. I don't want your help. I don't need pity, she muttered angrily, rolling over so her back was to them, revealing a key mark at full view in the process. My Trixie, what a nice flank you have. Oh, shut up. Twilight's eyes went wide as she saw the cutie mark. A blue magic wand with a crescent-shaped wisp of sparkling blue magic. Memory surged to full front of her mind. Trixie? Twilight exclaimed. Her sudden jump causing Spike to tumble backwards off her back with a yell. Huh? Asked the mare, throwing the blanket off and looking up. Sorrowing when she saw who it was. Her fur was matted and filthy, to put it mildly. She smelled worse than a diamond dog. There was no mistaking her. The blue unicorn before Twilight was definitely the great and powerful Trixie! Oh, it's you, the mare said, giving a glare. Come to show up Trixie again, have you? Spike growled. Hey, what's it? If it wasn't for Twilight, you'd be at Ursa's dinner right now. Spike! Twilight angrily said Spike, not wanting to make this worse. Her anger fed into sadness as she turned back to Trixie, trying not to put a hoof to her nose at the smell of the filthy mare. No, Trixie, we were just passing by, and I never meant to overshadow you. If I had done it when you were issuing open challenges to only Ponyville, in case you hadn't noticed, I was trying not to show off. Trixie gave a sigh. Point taken. Now, what is it you want? Well, for starters, what happened to you? Twilight asked. She had guilt inside her. Was Trixie like this because of what happened in Ponyville? Trixie looked down, then growled. It's none of your business, she said, turning away. Trixie doesn't want your pity. Well, that's good enough for me. Come on, Twilight, said Spike, trying to walk off, only to be grabbed telekinetically pulled back by Twilight. Trixie, this isn't pity. It's concern. Can I help? Twilight asked, eyes full of concern. Suddenly, Rainbow Dash ran up to Twilight out of nowhere, till their eyes were about 6 inches away. Oh, great, Trixie muttered. No, it just wouldn't end well in all likelihood. No way! Rainbow said in anger. Pinkie Pie, tell her! Pinkie Pie popped out of nowhere, hopped over. Hi, Twilight! Rainbow Dash wants me to tell you. She said, this is a devil with a smile on her face. Don't want to confuse him. Tell her what? Rainbow Dash gave an annoyed groan and face huffed. Rainbow, Pinkie, what are you doing here? Twilight asked. Sure, she thought Rainbow might be following her, but she never expected it for real, and especially not Pinkie. Though it didn't surprise her. Pinkie was the most unpredictable mare she ever met. We got a message from the Canterlot police saying you and Spike got arrested, so we came to bail you out, said Rainbow, glaring dangerously at Trixie. Good thing, too. You were going to let this sucker you! Twilight growled. I was not. That's not a very nice thing to say, Rainbow Dash, said Twilight, giving a disappointed glare. Can't you see she's in trouble? Rainbow Dash looked at her like she was crazy. Oh, come on! Did you forget how she humiliated me, Rarity, and Applejack in front of the entire town and caused a rampaging Ursa Meyer to tear the town apart? Twilight gave a stern glare, and she paid for that by being humiliated in front of the entire town herself. And you and I both know the Ursa was Snips and Snail's fault. Besides, for the looks of things, she paid more than enough for what she did in the meantime. I was just, what? Twilight's reaction here makes me think of how many times people have complained about ponies like Starlight or Discord, saying, oh, they need to pay for their crimes. And then I think to myself, Discord wallowed in misery over losing all of his magic in that episode. And who knows how many alternate timelines Starlight had to suffer in all the other dimensions. They kind of suffered enough through all their pain and misery. What more did they need? Blood? This kind of makes me wonder what some people want when it comes to redemption. In front of Spell thinks he hasn't had a bath in a long time, said Spike, holding his nose. Twilight gave Spike a raised eyebrow, then looked back to Rainbow. I'm not just going to leave some pony in trouble if there's something I can do to help. Twilight turned to Trixie. Sure, she'd been a jerk, but she hadn't done anything to deserve this. Trixie, will you come with us? Twilight got cut by Dash. No way, Twilight, Rainbow said in a serious tone. To Ponyville? Maybe you could get back on your hooves there. Don't mind them. Twilight asked Trixie, ignoring Rainbow. Normally she listened, but quite obviously, Rainbow Dash's perspective was a bit biased in this case. Trixie doesn't want your pity, said Trixie, turning up her nose and turning to walk off. She can do just fine on her own, she stated, even though her attempts to sound confident failed. As a slight break in her voice revealed she didn't believe that quite herself. Pinkie blinked, having just sat by and watched this until something happened. Uh-oh, ear flop, eye flutter, knee twitch, she said her body doing exact motions. Right as the door swung open and hit Trixie in the face. A pony threw away some garbage and closed the door. Trixie swallowing down it like a squash bug. Ha ha! Rainbow laughed hard at Trixie. Serves you right. Twilight saw Rainbow a glare before trying to daze Trixie. Trixie, this isn't a pity, she said, then paused to think of how to phrase this to convince Trixie to let her help. Sir, Trixie didn't seem to want help, but neither did Applejack at Applebuck season. If Twilight hadn't forced the issue, Applejack might have worked herself to death. Sometimes a pony who didn't want help was the one who needed it the most. A thought came to Twilight's head. Think of it as repaying a favor. Trixie shook her head. And just what did Trixie do for you? She asked, looking at her confused. Yeah, what does he ever do for us? Asked Spike, confused as Trixie. You know, besides publicly humiliating our friends, I got to side with Rainbow on this one. Twilight thought out her words carefully. Well, thanks to you, I had my weekly report for Princess Celestia in on time. And you helped me realize I didn't have to hide my talents from my best friends. That's because I was afraid of how they react. Twilight replied, so, at least let me return the favor and give you a helping hoof. Yeah, and you hadn't helped Twilight that letter, it might be really bad. Last time, started Pinkie, only to have Twilight put a hoof over her mouth. And plus, before the pink pony could reach the embarrassing part of the story. Still, at least he wasn't against her like Rainbow. Princess Celestia? Asked Trixie, eyes wide in shock. Why did you have to send her a weekly report? Twilight's Princess Celestia's personal student, Spike said with a smug smile. And her personal envoy to Ponyville, too. He stated. Trixie's jaw dropped. See, Trixie pretty much looking insane when about to cause shock. Behind her, Pinkie was glaring at people. Twilight could see the scared looks on their faces. Before Rainbow could say anything, Twilight saw her glare. If you want, Trixie, you could be the guest of Celestia's personal student in Ponyville. Twilight spoke up before Spike could brag anymore. See, hope appealing to the unicorn's ego would sway her a bit. Pinkie hopped over, got in Trixie's face. Yeah, you mean our guest! She exclaimed. Come on! Come on! We'll have so much fun! She stated in a rapid tone. I've heard enough of this. I'm going back to Ponyville by myself. You can let yourselves get sucked in by this loser if you want, but leave me out of it! Rainbow in an angry tone said, before flying off. Seems he'd not be able to talk some sense into Twilight, and Pinkie was... well, Pinkie. Trixie looked hurt. I'm not a loser, she yelled at the Rainbow. It's not my fault! Two rotten colts ruined my life! She growled before realizing Rainbow was gone. Couldn't hear her. She buzzed in embarrassment, turned back to the unicorn, an earth pony staring expectantly at her. So, as your guest, not a pity towards Trixie, she asked. She had to admit, being able to say Princess Celestia's personal student had invited her to be her guest was quite an ego stroke. And with how powerful Twilight was during the Ursa attack, Trixie didn't doubt she was telling the truth on that one, even as she hated to admit it. Twilight saved her life from that Ursa, so she did owe Twilight. You never heard her say it, but she did have some gratitude for that. I know what pity is, but having guests is always really fun. So say yes, said Pinkie with an excited smile. It's Pinkie. Does she ever not have an excited smile? Does he continue to stare at people? Trixie sighed, giving a deep thought. It'd be nice to be in a real bed in a real house, after all. Trixie supposes had to be better than that cardboard box. Trixie hasn't had a shower in 2 months. She muttered, disgusted with her own appearance. She hadn't had this bite since then either. She was starving. Smike held his nose. Yeah, we noticed. You smelled worse than those diamond dogs. He stayed, not caring about Trixie's feelings after what she did. Twilight angrily glared at Spike. Okay, let's head to Ponyville. I hope you don't mind taking a royal chariot, Twilight asked, leading the way. On a royal chariot? Trixie asked, eyes wide in shock. To get to ride in a royal chariot? Embarrassing circumstances or not, Trixie was not about to pass that up. Twilight, you sure this is a good idea? Asked Spike. I don't trust Trixie as far as I could throw her. Come on, Spike. She's not that bad, Twilight said, calmly. Besides, finding her a job will be a piece of cake with all the nice ponies in Ponyville. She'll be back on her hooves in no time. Oh, what kind of cake? Asked Pinkie, smiling wide, forgetting about the people. Is it chocolate? Vanilla? Twilight sighed, continued walking towards the chariot at a launching point. I'm cheering! Wait, blueberry!